Awesome oxtail. That's right.
Welcome back to our Cuban show, and no Cuban show would be complete without the authority on the cuisine, Carlos Laguardia. So welcome to the show, and tell me a little bit about your restaurant here in Chicago.
Well, we've been open now for 15 years. It was started by my mom and dad 15 years ago. They wanted to bring in some authentic Cuban food to Chicago, and 15 years later, here we are.
What are we doing here? Because I see oxtails.
Yes.
I see a colorful array of ingredients.
You know, Cuba's very colorful, and oxtail is actually one of my favorite dishes.
Mine too.
Yeah, and so I thought, well, you know what, let's do this live, and let's give up the Cafe LaGuardia secret recipe.
This is the family secret.
This is the family secret.
Pay close attention. This is
This
it. All right.
is it. This is it.
So what do we do?
Well, we have 4 pounds of oxtail. One of the main secrets is that this oxtail here, what you have to do is you get a paring knife and you cut off as much of the fat as possible.
So it's right on the outside of that oxtail.
Right on the outside. If you can get in between, you know, like we did here, we took most of the fat off, you know, because it actually does come from the tail of the ox, so there's a lot of fat around the meat.
And that takes time?
That takes a lot of time. And then what we do is, you know, we'll sear it with a little bit of olive oil that's been infused with garlic. And,
so just
and
like
that's,
this over
and
here.
that's what it looks like. You don't, you know, you don't want to fry it because we're going to be baking it for 4 hours.
So not a really deep brown.
No. Just to sear in the flavor, so it doesn't, you know, fall apart once you're baking it.
Great.
And then what we're going to do is once that's seared, we're going to get this is the secret right here. We're going to get guava. It's the actual guava fruit, and we're going to line the pan with the guava.
May I?
Please.
So can I just like slide it in?
Yes, and while you're doing that, I'll tell you why we do this. You know, my dad's grandfather used to do this because they used to get a kettle, and they used to put the oxtail in there, and they put it right on the fire.
Really?
Like on the barbecue fire.
So a wood fire type of thing?
Wood fire type of deal. And then a lot of times the oxtail on the bottom, you know, would burn. So they would use the guava, and now what we do is we're going to put the oxtail right here. Yes,
put it
please,
right
in the pan.
This is fun.
You know, while you're doing that, what happens is that we call this rabo encendido. It's a fiery oxtail, and we're going to be adding some jalapeno peppers. So the guava sort of breaks down the that spiciness hot, because Cubans really don't eat anything too hot. We just want a little right. We just want a little kick to it. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to add on. This is 2 tablespoons of black pepper. I'll put that in there.
Wow, that's a bunch of black pepper.
It's a bunch of black pepper. See, this is fiery oxtail, and this is we're using sea salt, coarse sea salt. 4 tablespoons of this. Wow. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use bay leaves, fresh bay leaves.
Can you use dried if you can't get fresh?
Yes, you may.
But
yes,
better
you may.
fresh.
But it's better.
Okay.
And then what we do here is we use a little pinch of thyme. It's always good to add that. And then what we're going to do is, as you notice, we didn't chop the garlic. You know, so we're going to add like half a cup of garlic to it. And
so
then
it's just dumping everything
It's
in?
just dumping everything in there. Now we're going to use 2 whole green peppers in here.
And those are just sort of sliced up a little bit?
Right, exactly. And then we're going to do 2 whole Spanish onions. They're nice and big. Yeah, so we're going to spread that out real good. Okay.
I'm getting seriously hungry.
Now let me tell you. Now here comes, this is the hot part. We have about 8 habanero peppers.
8?
Yes. So we're gonna spread that on there. The reason why we're doing it whole is because of the fact that we want it to break down slowly.
Okay.
We don't want, you know, all the flavors to get blended in too quickly.
All right.
Okay. So then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the grapes. Okay.
Grapes go in?
Grapes go in here. Okay. And then what we're going to do that is that will go in.
May I? Can I just
Absolutely,
put them in?
Yes.
There we go.
Now look how beautiful that
That's
looks.
gorgeous.
Look how colorful that looks. Now we're going to add 2 cups of red wine. Not very sweet.
All right. And this one is?
And then that'll be 2 cups of water.
All right. I thought that was for me for a minute, but anyways.
Yeah. Now what we're going to do, Chris, is we're going to cover this with banana leaves.
Okay.
The reason why we use banana leaves, and we've been doing this for hundreds of years, is because of the fact that if we put anything on top, anything steel or aluminum,
right,
we want to make sure that the meat doesn't absorb that flavor.
And that gives it the flavor also.
And also the banana leaves gives it an additional flavor.
Excellent.
And then, yes, please.
All right.
And then what we're going to do here is we're going to put this in the oven.
All right.
350.
And that takes
for 4 hours.
4 hours. And can I pull this one right over here?
Absolutely.
And take a look?
Yes. Yes.
So this is your final dish.
That's a final summer dish.
Carlos, thank you very much for coming in and sharing your family secret recipe for Oxtail.
Thank you for having us on the show.
Beautiful. In a few minutes, I'll share a delicious Cuban dessert that combines coconut and caramel.